Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I want to do a very quick review of the new Samsung Galaxy S21. Now before we get started, I will post a couple of different links in the description, first of which is going to be a link to a side-by-side comparison of the S20 and S21 to help you figure out which is the better device for you. Next up I will have the S20 unboxing video. Now just trying to jump straight into the device and price first. So we are at the Samsung website opting for one of two devices just to compare prices. So for the S21 right out of the box, we're going to assume we want an unlocked model, and we'll just say we want 128 gig and we'll just go for a base model Phantom Gray. Biggest difference is when you opt for a trade-in for the S9 or several of the Samsung devices, you will note a big upcharge that they are giving for all previous Samsung holders. So for the S21, there's a big premium being paid to upgrade to the S21 as opposed to the S20. That'll be covered in the video links below. And then if we were to scroll down, assuming all things constant, you will note a $449 price tag for the S21. Big perk is your purchase will have a $50 instant credit for add-ons. I'll cover that in another video where I actually go through the S20 purchase or S21 purchase, but it's a pretty nice actual trade-in value. So essentially they're going to give you a $50 credit to the Samsung store, and there are no trade-offs or like any catches to that. Basically you just get a $50 credit. If you want to purchase an item that's $40, then you just toss that $10 credit aside and you get that free item. So 100% legitimate offer there. And if we were to look at the second extreme of the equation, go to the S21 Ultra, hold everything else constant, opt for Phantom Black, you will note at the bottom a price tag of $849.99. I believe both of these price tags are excluding taxes and again are including a $350 trade-in credit for a previous S9 model, just assuming you're not upgrading from the most recent device. Now, jumping to the specs, and I want to cover the actual device itself. Initial impression is it's an incredibly solid device. This is the two-tone purple. I love the fact that they have some two-tone color options, and the general feel and build quality is incredible. We have this aluminum feeling back panel. You'll notice that the curved display is gone, which honestly, I personally don't miss. It almost feels like the display is bigger when it's that flat panel display. And you don't notice a huge difference when using this compared to the S20, although this does not have the same screen quality, which we'll cover shortly. It's still a solid device overall. So biggest things to cover is with the S21 base model, you have a 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED display, so it's a 2400 by 1080 pixel resolution with 421 pixels per inch. I'll cover how that differs between this and the S20, but that is the biggest drawback to the S21. It's just not up to par there. And it does have a slightly heavier profile, but not enough to make a huge difference. It ships with Android 11 out of the box, and it does have a 64 megapixel telephoto, 12 megapixel wide angle, and 12 megapixel ultra wide angle. So you'll see the tri-camera setup on the back. 10 megapixel front-facing camera, 8K video capture, and the newer Snapdragon 888 processor. Storage on the three models, as we saw on the Samsung website, they have 128 gig, 256, and a 512 on the website that's listed. The only other drawback that I really see that's big on this device, outside of the lack of expandable storage, is the 8 gig RAM, as opposed to the 12 gigs on the S20, but I think that the upgraded processor in a way makes up for it. Same IP68 rating for water and dust resistance. I do note that it says here it has expandable storage up to 1 terabyte. When you pull out the actual where the micro SD card slot would be, it is just a SIM card. So you do not have the expandable micro storage slot for the micro SD card. A little bit of a drawback, but again, considering the base model is 128 gigs, I don't think that is a deal breaker for this device. And overall, I still think that it is a really big steal for the price. And if you're trading in an S20, a device that you had previously, the price difference is even bigger. I mean, you can get the device upwards of like $100 to $200 with a trade-in of an S20. So that covers the bulk of the actual specs. Again, feel of the device compared to the S20, it feels relatively similar. I mean, the screen resolution is incredible on both. The S21 does take a bit of a hit there, but considering it is a newer device and it's becoming more common for companies to phase out older devices, I would highly recommend considering the S21 if you're looking to upgrade, whether it be from an S20 or from an older model phone. The trade-ins right now are honestly a very, very solid value. The extras that you get when purchasing the S21, in my opinion, more than make up for some of the drawbacks. And when you get to a point where you're using a phone with 8 gigs of RAM, an upgraded processor, there's no drawback in terms of camera quality. I just feel like this is a very, very solid competitor. Now, if you're big on mobile gaming, then the 12 gigs of RAM in the S20 and the upgraded pixel density on that device make that one a better buy. So I would just recommend comparing the two, depending on what you need them for. I feel like the average user is probably going to get more value from the S21 strictly based on price and comparing to the hardware setups. But again, I will post that video comparing the two side by side below. Now, if you have any questions on the device itself, feel free to put them in the comment box below. I'll be more than happy to answer them and help out in any way I can. And I will see you all in the next video.